Give me your thoughts on treated 3/4 inch plywood. Not 3/4 inch, 3/8. Gotta get the size right. Yay. Hello again, Nomies. Before we do anything to Pearl or the Equinox today, got a little housekeeping to take care of. As you can see behind me here, I still have quite a mess in my yard. Weather's been kind of on and off, and I've had some really pretty days. I could have gotten out here and done this work. Just haven't really been motivated. Well, today I'm motivated and I'm armed. So we're gonna get to it and see if we can't clean up those limbs. Let's do this. It's hard to believe that mess that was scattered all over my yard is now piled up in that one little neat pile behind me here, just waiting to be burned. But we'll do that another day when it's a little less windy. And I should note that that's not really everything. Part of it's right here. This is all the big heavy stuff that I don't want to put in the burn pile yet. I'll stick this back somewhere, let it dry out a little bit more, and then we'll burn it later. Or maybe I'll just have some nice oak firewood for the next bonfire. But you know, even with everything that's already fallen out, hit the ground and has now been cut up and piled up, can't help but wonder how many other limbs Grandfather Oak might be losing on some windy day in the future. There's plenty of them to go. There's even one that's hanging right there. It's been hanging from another limb for quite a while, and it's just high enough that I can't get to it to pull it on down. So I'll just have to wait and let it fall on its own one of these days. But anyway, like I said, there'll be more to come. There's some limbs that are kind of right above Pearl, and I worry sometimes about them, but I don't think there's anything up there that's anywhere near breaking loose at this point. I'm a little more concerned about something going through the roof of the workshop. Hopefully that won't happen either. Been real lucky so far. I've had some really big limbs fall, but they've all fallen in the yard and really not done any damage. Maybe we're good for a while anyway. So, I got that wood cleaned up, and that is one bit of housekeeping I am glad to sweep out of the way. So the last time we were here in Pearl, we were installing angle iron braces on our 3/4 inch roof supports. Putting these right here as a little wraparound in some places that really needed some reinforcement. Now that that's done, and apparently was a great success because, well, it hasn't fallen apart yet anyway. So we're gonna cross our fingers and say that's worked pretty good. The next step is to see what we can do to reinforce this flimsy aluminum roof so that maybe you can actually crawl, if not walk, across this roof on the outside without taking your life into your own hands, worrying that you're going to bust through the aluminum and fall inside Pearl. Now, I've been looking online at aluminum plating, or steel plating, actually. You may remember I told you that right back here in this corner, there is a steel plate that's just like 2 by 36, I guess. It's about 2 by 3 feet. And it apparently was put there because that's where the ladder on the back of Pearl comes up, so that if you had to get over on the roof to do something, you'd be standing in that corner of the back, and it gives you added reinforcement. I wish they'd have done it over the whole roof, but they didn't. Now that steel plate is 1/8 inch thick, and it offers plenty of support. So I looked at 1/8 inch steel plating, and to get, I don't know, say I was looking at 1 by 2 foot pieces, because that's what I think I can fit in to the openings that I have between this bracing on top. So with 1 by 2 foot pieces, they're anywhere from $30 to $50 each. That is cost prohibitive. You know, if I have to do it, I can buy a couple here and a couple there, and we can stretch this project out over the entire summer and see what happens. I don't really want to do that, though. I had a suggestion to say, why don't you try treated plywood? If you were to get marine grade plywood, which there again, that's kind of expensive, and put an outer moisture treatment on it, because even marine grade plywood is not completely waterproof, despite what they might say. So put an outer treatment on it, something to seal it, and it should last a long time. It should probably last as long as I'm going to be using Pearl. The question is, can I get it fit in? So, I have some samples. Oh, I got 3 pieces of scrap plywood here. Let's see. This one is 3/8 inch. This one is 1/4 inch. They both just fell down. This one is good old 1/2 inch. This is some heavy stuff. And it would be ideal as far as supporting weight and adding a lot of support to that aluminum. My only worry is 1/2 inch is thick. I'm not sure I can work it in between the metal frame and the aluminum roof. It's going to be tough. That's what we're here today to find out. How these various thicknesses are going to work in place, how we might position them, and then hopefully that'll put us in a better position to decide, do we want to use treated wood or do we want to spend the bucks and get some 1/8 inch steel and not worry about it. Because I know 1/8 inch is going to fit in there. It already is. So that's a done deal if we can get that stuff. And by the way, if you know a bargain spot where I get a really good price on 1/8 inch sheet steel, put it in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. So let's see how this wood just might fit or not. Okay, I'm going to kind of focus on these first 2 ribs going across. And let's start with the big piece. This is the 1/2 inch plywood. I'm going to start by seeing if it'll fit in. I can tell you already it's awfully snug. I already see a problem because even if I get that pushed in far enough, it's not going to come back behind this centerpiece. This piece will be a little bit too long. So let's not start with the heavy piece. Let's go down to the 3/8. See what it does, because this one is a little less than 3 feet long and it's about 11 inches wide. So it's a different size from what I was thinking about using, but it does slide into place a lot easier. I need something to cap with. Hammer. Okay. Something like that just might do the trick. And I can fit it in. I'm not sure what I'd have to do on this other side. However, if I were to go this way with it, this way is coming towards you, by the way, as you can tell on camera. And the reason for this is that it's putting this cross piece right here underneath part of the wood. So if I were to do that and then come back across here on this other side with another piece in more or less the same position and let them overlap here a little bit, that just might, well, there's no just to it, it would give me a lot more support on the roof itself. Now, I'm not saying the thing's still not going to bounce and make a little noise, but you know what? It's an aluminum roof. It's not going to, unless you literally tack it against something firm, it's going to have some motion and some noise to it. I just want to be sure that I'm not going to punch a hole in it doing something. So that's an idea. Now, I don't have another piece of 3/4. I do have this, that's 3/8, pardon me, 3/8 plywood. I do have this 1/4 inch. Let's see if I can put it, like I was talking about doing. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. Let's see. This kind of gives you an idea of what I was talking about working them side by side. But look at the difference between this 3/8 and this 1/4 inch. There's quite a difference between support offered by the two pieces. That 3/8 inch really seems to be better. The 1/4 inch fit in place, of course, but I think it'll be much better with the 3/8 if we go with the plywood. Pretty sure this 1/2 inch, although it would be marvelous as far as adding structural support, is pretty much out of the question. It's just, it's not going to click because I just can't fit it in place. So, right now, if I go with a plywood reinforcement on the roof, treated plywood, not just plain stuff, because even though I'm not planning on the roof leaking, we're going to recoat it. But even at that, it can still leak in places. There's still, it's a moist area because of condensation. You've got an outside surface, and then you have an inside surface. And there's no kind of insulation in between. So when the temperature changes on one side, it's going to cause condensation one way or the other on the other side. Therefore, we're still going to have moisture against plywood or plate steel or whatever we decide to reinforce the roof with. So yeah, if it is wood, indeed, it needs to be coated. In fact, if I put steel plates in there, I'm going to coat them with some sort of sealant to help make them a little more water resistant as well. So that's kind of where we stand. Give me a comment. Give you a couple of choices here. Do you think I should go ahead and try to get the plate steel? Like I said, 1/8 inch plate steel. What I've found so far has been a little out of my budget as far as how much I'm going to have to buy. If you've got a good, cheap source for it, or an idea where I could scarf some maybe off of something else, even if it's flat enough or it can be flattened, I could certainly use that. Let me know. Put it in the comments below. Otherwise, give me your thoughts on treated 3/4 inch plywood. Not 3/4 inch, 3/8. Gotta get the size right. Yay. Treated 3/8 inch plywood. We'll see. We'll see. Let me know what you think, as always, because your comments are helping me through this. You've been helping me when it came to finding the angle iron and doing that kind of repair, getting these supports, these wooden supports overhead, bracing them up, which, by the way, we're probably going to work on some more next week. Just heads up on that. And, see, hey, you guys are helping me through this. Please, don't abandon me. Keep the comments coming, because I really need to hear from you, okay? For now, I guess that's going to be a wrap. We're finished up for yet another week. Once again, leave your comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. And give me a thumbs up. Show us a like on this and all of our other YouTube videos from the MT and me. Join us every Sunday. We're going to be doing something. I'm not sure what. But between the MT and the Chevy Equinox, which has got plenty of jobs to do on it, and maintaining this little homestead of mine, there's always something to do. Problem is getting myself motivated to do it. So tune in, find out what happens. Till next time around, I love you, Nomies. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your comments. I'm Russ. We'll talk later.